Blessings and welcome, everyone. Do you believe it? I have been locked in a time warp. I did not realize the time. And I've been waiting. I have been waiting for 11 o'clock here in California time to come on and to be with you. Yet here we are. It's almost midday. And so let me get on here in Instagram land. And if you're even out there, anyone, somewhere, I'm happy to be of service. One moment. So it's always so interesting, this fine line for me of this, all these conundrums with using several devices at the same time and getting things just right for all of them. Let's see. So thank you. If you are hopping on and you do have a question, please leave in the comments. Let's see. Wow. Blessings and welcome. Let's just move this little guy. Blessings and welcome, everyone. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is my weekly live stream, 4D Trinity. And I was just telling family here on YouTube that I don't know what happened. I guess I got kind of caught in a little time warp as such. And I was waiting for things to turn to 11 a.m. I'm in California, and here it is almost 12. And I have to go to work. I have to be somewhere this afternoon, but I had completely forgotten, or somehow I had been slipped in or out of some amazing thing. And now the kettle is on, and here we are. So blessings and welcome. Every 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, I host a show here on my weekly live stream, 4D Trinity, and it is called Ask Me Anything. And it is here that I invite you to literally ask me anything. And for the highest good, I sign into your higher self. I channel your higher self, and I bridge messages from your higher self that you are ready to receive. Everything is done in alignment with the highest love, of course. Love is high, right? There is no higher, really. But everything is for your highest good, and it's all coming from that place of love, from the place of the heart. So if there is some insight you are requesting, you are feeling that you are seeking to have, you can leave your question in the comments. And again, I know I am late, so I really don't know if we're going to have a show at all. And as I said, I just realized that I had put the kettle on. I didn't realize the time. And this is what happens, right, when you start living outside of time in those normal sort of ways. You're blipping in and out all over the place. And so here we are, though. I have blipped in, and I'm ready if you are. And if not, then we will reschedule this for another time. I can hear the kettle boiling, so I'm going to go, and I'm going to come right back. All right. We're back. We're going to just see. We're going to hang out for a little minute here then. If no one's coming around, we're already here. So let's go ahead and have a little chat. Today is a full moon in Leo. And it's very interesting because a dear sister posted a tarot reading that I put in my stories that really spoke to me. And one specific aspect of the tarot reading really spoke to me, and it was that aspect that reflected the energy of the peacock, the energy of that peacock being fully in their power, fully in their center, and fully capable of bringing it, of being and embodying their fullness, their beauty, their glory, all of their colors. And in that way, I have been challenged. How have you been with that lately? And granted, right here we are at a Leo full moon, which is helping to illumine those aspects of us that are ready, to shine, that are ready to show themselves in their fullness. And I know for me, there's this crazy, it's not really crazy, but it's just this fantasy of who I imagine I would be as I step into my fullness of really owning those things that inspire me. And so I'm going to invite you to consider that. And what I mean is I'm speaking specifically about, oh, here we go. And now, this is interesting over here. Are we even live? Maybe I'm not even live yet. Am I live? Oh my gosh. I thought I was live. Hello, everyone in Instagram land. I thought I was live. I'm already late. I mean, there's really no late, right? But I thought I was, anyway, I didn't realize the time. Here I am chatting away on YouTube here and thinking that I'm live on Instagram. Family, pardon me a moment, YouTube family. Everyone here at Instagram, I am late. I swear, I thought we were coming up to 11. I'm meditating outside, doing my pranayama. I'm doing all this stuff, the violet flame meditation. I'm enjoying my little time here, talking to the crystals and putting the kettle on. In the meantime, it's time, and I'm almost an hour late from what I was saying. And also, I have not been able to post on my page at Instagram, so I'm only posting on stories right now. I don't know how long it'll last. I know my friend Andre at 4D Fighting Arts said that happened to him when his golden light body was activating. So maybe there's something in that for me that's happening. But it is interesting because I do love Instagram. If you appreciate what I share here at YouTube, come over and follow on Instagram. Even though apparently I can't post on my page right now, I'm definitely still all about those stories. Oh, thanks for hopping on, and blessings. So as I was saying, I am late, but I am here. Kindred soul sister, sweet love sister, blessings. Nice to see you. So if you do have a question, go ahead and leave it in the comments. So even though I'm late, and I apologize, we do this show every once in a while, Ask Me Anything, where I channel your higher self for the highest good and offer you divine messages for your spiritual growth. It's all rooted in love and light. I do have some cards and things here on the side that I may be guided to use as well. So if you do have a question, let me know in the comments. And as I was saying, my brother Andre was telling me when he couldn't post for a whole week on Instagram that his golden light body was activating. So perhaps that is what's happening to me because I cannot post on my page. At least, and that could change like that. So we'll see as the day and the days continue where we go with all of that. So if you do have a question, let me know in the comments. I was telling a little story. I thought I was already live here on Instagram, so I was chatting away, but I'm going to share a little story. We know it's the full moon in Leo, or if we don't, welcome, full moon in Leo. Leo is all about the bravery and the courage of the heart, right? And our ability to walk unabashed. And what I call is to walk and to wave your freak flag, to really embody and own all of those parts of self that you're afraid to. Thank you for hopping on and saying hi on Instagram. Again, if you do have a question, I am late. We went through this at the beginning of the show. I already talked about it. But if you do have a question and you would like me to channel for you, your higher self, you can leave your question in the comments. But in the meantime, we're just chatting away here and in honoring this full moon that it is today in Leo, and really using that energy. And what I was saying is that there's a dear sister who I posted her full moon tarot reading up in my stories at Instagram. And there was a part of her reading that really spoke to me. And it was regarding that aspect of the peacock and really letting our feathers, letting all of our colors activate. And what do all of those colors, it spoke to me so deeply that then I was like meditating on it. I was feeling into it because I feel that personally I'm at this halt, at this place of the part of me, the creative, the artist, is ready to move into this next level of owning the vision, of owning that sense of purpose, of what gives me joy, right? And for a lot of you, if you know me, you know it's all about grid mind science. It's this project that I've been with for 20 years now. And it's this initiation, right? For 20 years, this continual moving through and really releasing the veils of ego. And it's so funny because I kept attempting to post yesterday on Instagram this beautiful post, all about your opinion. I don't, it's the picture. And eventually when I do get to post on Insta, I will be able to put it back up there, or put it up there for the first time. Watch, as soon as Insta comes back, it'll be like there'll be 5 of them in a row of the same post. that would be so retrograde, right? But the post is a hand putting a tissue into a little tissue box, and it says, what I do with your opinion of me, and it's like putting the tissue in the tissue box. And I was going to post it all sassy, and then I realized, like 95% of this is in resonance. 95% of this I can own, but there's 5% of this meme that I am in fear with. There's that part. So where are you in fear of fully owning it? And to give you an idea, right? Like I was saying before I realized that I actually wasn't signed on to Instagram, to give you an idea is that there's this like freak flag energy within all of us that is waiting to be embodied. And like my sister, and I keep really intending to say your name correctly, Danae. She posted that tarot reading today, and I posted it at my stories. And it's like it's being that unabashed. It's like, how can peacocks hide? How can they hide their colors? All of those beautiful colors of the spectrum. If you have a question, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I'm just going to keep chatting away here until someone drops a question, or maybe this is what we're going to do, is just have a little chat and then I'll be on my way. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so we feel, right, that there's, with the Leo energy, we feel that there's these hoops of fire that we continually get to jump through. And really, it's us holding the hoop for ourselves to jump through. And that's how I feel. It's like, Team Tuesday, or team whatever your name is, or however you identify, is like, it's a part of me holding the ring of fire saying, come on, jump, you can do it. It's always those parts of ourselves that are like encouraging us and holding space for us. And it's this idea of, what I really, in all honesty, what I see is this goddess wearing a waist trainer, disseminating the teachings on the grid. And it's this wild, and then there's other little affectations to this vision that I see. And it's just, it's this freak flag. And it's this part of the artist, right, that I am, that is saying, come on, kid, let's have fun with this. Stop taking yourself so seriously. And I think that's what it is, right? When we really are concerned with other people's opinions of us, that's the ego. And that's the part of us that is just unhealed. That's the part of us. The ego can be a friend, right? A foe. It can be befriend us in the way where it's just showing us. It's pointing the way to where it is that we get to jump through the hoop, jump through the ring of fire. And in that way, I know that it's calling me. It's, remember that in the Matrix, and when, Neo learns Kung Fu and he's all like this, it's like, that's how higher self is, right? Higher self is all like, come on, kid. Come on, jump through that hoop. And whatever little ways that you can start to show more of those colors of the peacock, right, that you are. And when we think about all of those colors on the peacock, we think about all those colors in the chakras, and we think about all of those lenses, those portals that the chakras are. And when they are clear, right, when we're, in resonance, when we're keeping the vehicle of this body mind in alignment, and it's a continual practice, it's a continual process. But in that process, we go through the layers, and then we're like, oh, and we come into those cycles, and we realize there's new parts of us with, or old parts of us with new layers, layers that are new to us now, that we get to be with, to sit with, to consider. And I know there's a part of me, whenever I get in these creative projects, right, whenever there's a part of me that's like, go, 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 and then I come to a stop, obviously, right, this retrograde is a great time to reevaluate, to step back, to reconsider, to reflect. Like for me, I just finished my first screenplay. I finished it at the conjunction in December 21st. And that was a huge deal. I sent it off to the team of professional screenwriters, and now I'm starting to get feedback, and I'm like, whoa, uh-oh. I'm not who I was when I finished that. The screenplay is not what it was when it finished. There's all these new ways that I get to now step into being present with this gift of creation. And isn't it odd though? What's coming up is, yes, there's more professional, things that I get to study and learn and, get sharper on and clear my skills of writing a screenplay. But at the same time, there's the who's there in there doing that, and she wants to have fun. And I think that's what I've realized. So where can you have fun? That's what the Leo is all about, heart, and it's all about courage, right? And this like freak flag version of me that I see that just is so tickled in her power and where she's just so natural and just doing and being and embodying. It tickles me, but it scares the life out of me. And I'll put that in a bubble of light, because I really don't mean that. But it has that, it can be that way if I give the ego the right of way to have that power over me in that part of my life. And so what do? We get to decide. Once we're aware, right? We get to decide, where am I going to keep feeding this fear? Maybe. Okay, I see a little comment. I'm going to check in with you now in a second. Oh, I can see without my glasses. It's Self-Centered Canada. I've been thinking about you, girl. I want to invite you on. I want to invite you onto the live. I think we talked about this, so I'd love to have you as a guest. But I'm going to read that comment here in just 1 second, sister. Yes. And so it's, those colors in the peacock, they're reflecting the colors of the chakras, and it's like, where do we get to have work? And I know for me, I've had some issues in my lower back, and they keep coming. And as I'm with it, and I'm like, okay, second chakra, let's go deeper. What's going on? And okay, manifestation. Yes, there's that whole sexual, energy, that all that stuff aspect of it. But there's also the creativity and the manifestation part of it. And it's creativity and manifestation, right? If we're just creating, if we're just making, right, from the ego, it's just to really get to the end, to really have that thing that comes at the end of what you're making, whereas the creating, for me, it's always the process of creation is the greatest joy. That's where you get all hot and flustered. I get turned on when I paint, when I'm writing, when you get out of the way and you just channel, right? There's like, woo, the fire in the loins. And I'm realizing now that there's this part of me, that courage in the heart, that part of the freak flag that's saying, come on, girl, let's get freaky with this. Who does the artist inside of you? Who is she now? At this, next phase of writing the screenplay, at the next phase of embodying this sense of purpose of what is carrying you forward. Like, that's my main inspiration, is to do that work, is to research it, is to understand it, is to then share the teachings in all these different ways, but again, what is your thing that you're guided to do in that way? What is your calling in that way? And are you having fun as the version of yourself that you're being as you are in it? And I think this is what this full moon is helping to illuminate for us, is it's like lighting up all those areas that are trying to hide in the dark. And it's saying like, come on, baby, let this moon energy open your heart, give you that courage, like the lion, remember in Wizard of Oz, give you that courage to just start letting that freak flag fly that little bit more every time we let that. And I love what Denai said in the tarot reading. She's like, when that peacock, like to let your true colors shine. They are your frequency. They are your resonance. Each chakra has a different resonance, right? A different frequency, a different seed sound. And depending on how they're all resonating together, individually and collectively, is creating the resonance that we walk with. And it's all these agreements and decisions and, things that we repeat through our mind and through our mouth that we then are creating the match within ourselves to be a frequency match for. And she was speaking to, the more you let all those colors of your true peacock shine, the more it's like a bung, like that, right? You like my sound effects? It's like that. Let's see if we can get it. Your true sound. And she was reminding us that it, helps the true family, The true individuals are soul companions, be that of, these projects, the way that they can come to us through divine synchronicity and flow, be it the people, the places, the emails, the opportunities, when we are in the fullness. And now we are so in our fullness already. We are so walking in our power already. And you know what this full moon is saying, what it's saying to me, and what I invite it to say to you, if you would have it, is, how can you show up more? You're already shining. You're already activating all of those peacock feathers. And now, oh, wow, interesting. And now the live stream ended on Instagram. Oh, wow. Isn't that interesting? Pardon me 1 second, family, here on YouTube. Oh, wow. It was saying something about community guidelines. Your post goes against, we removed your live because it goes against our community guidelines on nudity or sexual activity. Our guidelines are based on our global community, and some audiences may be sensitive to different things. Live removed, photos, videos, partially nude. Oh my gosh, this is really bizarre. We're going to try it again. We're going to go in again because there was a question here, and I want to honor that. Okay, so this is very strange. Very strange indeed. One moment, family. I wonder, it's just so weird because let me close this down. I feel like I don't understand. Hello, family. Blessings, family. So my live was disconnected because it went against community guidelines. Apparently there was nudity or some inappropriate sexual something going on in it. So, and they wouldn't let me repost it on my page. So whatever's going on in my Instagram land, I feel a little sad about it because I really love that platform. Very interesting. Sister, I was just saying that they ended my live and I got hit with a community warning because they were saying that that my live was going against community standards or the whatever, and that I was violating the situation. And so they wouldn't let me repost it. And they said that there was nudity or inappropriate sexual activity in it. So I took a screenshot. This is weird. I wonder, it's very strange. And I know you had written a comment, and I'm so sorry I didn't get to see it, love. And thank you for hopping back on. Oh, you're over here. And now she's over here on YouTube. So sensitive. I know, right? So let's see. I know Insta gets cranky. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, ladies, for hopping back on. Frieza Whizzical. I could never pronounce that, but I think that's okay. So thank you for hopping back on, everyone. I was sharing a little story, but I shared it. And so let's go ahead. If you have any questions and you feel guided that I could be of service and channel some divine guidance for you, for your higher self, for our Ask Me Anything, I'd be more than happy to service that. Again, I don't know what's going on over there in Instagram land, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. So again, love, thank you. Excuse me. And I'm sorry that I didn't read your comments sooner. I really didn't realize they were going to take it down. You came across a white peacock last week. I've heard of those. Was that over there in Pasadena, Kindred Soul Sister? I've heard of those. They're the albino ones. They're really, really, really gorgeous. Really, really profound. And isn't that interesting too? Because I was watching some clips, and I want to make a recording of a couple years ago for one of the 4D Trinities. I did a show called Chakra Wisdom, and there's some clips in it that I'm making some little mini videos to eventually post back at my page here at Instagram. And speaking about how we are a column of light, and it is through the prism, right, of self that the light gets refracted into all the different colors of the spectrum. And again, interesting talking about that, in the little presentation that I did in that 4D Trinity, just speaking about that our true value is that white, is that indivisible white light. And it is as we become bodies and as we are here on this planet that then that light gets refracted right through that system, the value system of the chakras, and to all of those different colors. But ultimately, yeah, we are the white peacock. And I think that's what happens, Kindred Soul Sister, is it's like when we let all of those colors of our freak flag fly, right, as that full-on peacock, that then we have like that that superpower. I think as much as the light body is already calibrated and activated, there's this sense of like that supernatural empowerment and power that we continue to evolve as and into over and over and over again, and allowing ourselves, right? Allowing ourselves to have that. And where it's like when we have all of those colors of the chakras like activated, illumined, the light is shining clear through each of those portals of self, that that it is like this, then that we have what I like to think of as the invisibility cloak, right? Is like the albino peacock, where it's we have learned a certain level of mastery of all of the colors of all of those frequencies at their highest level that we are walking with at any given time and space, that there is like this where they almost like merge back into the oneness of that white light, right? Because we teach here that the crystalline tube that houses the spine, that's really all we are. In essence, we are that light. We are just a tube of light, and everything else is a decoration. But within that tube is the chakra system that runs along the spine, right? And that those are each eyeballs, and that we, gain, we receive, and we send out information through all time, space, and dimensions through those portals. And it is the cleaning and the clearing and the working through the different issues or the different aspects held in those chakras that then allow that clarity to shine. And so, yeah, ultimately that white light coming back to what it is that we already are, but learning that mastery of how to use all those frequencies and those colors in this world, in this third dimension. So let's see, let's just check over here on the comments. So I guess we're just hanging out. Orgon energy. Oh, blessings. Welcome. So as I was saying, today is a Ask Me Anything. And okay, good. So we have one question so far. And I know I ended up coming up late. I've been having some issues with Instagram, but if you do have a question, go ahead and line it up. So Lulu on YouTube. So before we go in, let's just take a moment. We're going to think about rose quartz crystalline cave. Okay. Let's just take a breath, drop into the heart. And we're going to enter that sacred space of the crystalline cave, the rose quartz crystalline cave, to do this work together. It is here that we'll meet from the heart, in the heart, as the heart, and connect with higher self. And may I serve the higher good of everyone guided to participate this afternoon. And thank you. We call in our angels, our guides, and all of those light beings who love us. And so it is. And so it is. Okay. And so it is. Should I continue to try to collaborate with other artists in the future? I've tried to collaborate with 4 other artists, and I've left my completed portions with them and nothing. So right away, I'm told to look for my crystal. Okay, right away, I got yes for that, to stay open, When you get the tingle, act on it. They're saying immediately, when you get the tingle, to participate in that way with a group of others, to act on it immediately, but without expectation of return. So what I'm getting is that your practice right now, what you're being invited into exploring, is just the act of sharing. Okay, so that's what I get, is just the act of sharing who you are with others is going to help create a redefining of who you are becoming. So what higher self is saying is that, okay, now this is just higher self, take it or leave it. But higher self is saying you're holding back. And isn't this interesting? If you just hopped on, I started the live, it ended, it wouldn't let me post it, but I told a little story, right? We're talking about peacocks, letting your freak flag fly, being even more empowered, right? In your ability to be seen as your full self without any limitations. And ultimately that's the gift, right? That we allow ourselves, that freedom to be and embody our fullness and our wholeness. And what higher self is saying for you is that you're holding back. There's some parts of what you're participating or the way that you're extending it. It's almost, what I'm seeing is like that there's a hand, that there's almost like you're giving it, but there's like a hand kind of covering or shrouding a part of it or some parts of it. In a way, you're trying to play it safe, okay? And that's not going to open doors for you, is what higher self is saying. Okay, stop playing safe. It's time to share the whole you. Higher self is also saying that they have guided you to extend and to plant seeds with certain people, places, or things, or companies, or centers, or organizations. Organizations. They're actually running that grid for you right now. Do you feel that? Organizations. So there's somewhere you're not looking, and there's places that have been inspired in you, whispered to you, and you haven't gone there yet. And so they're not saying that that's a negative thing at all. Yet to use whatever you're going to take from today or moving forward, the full moon and all your meditations, whatever it might be, but to use that as you move forward, and then you begin to extend and apply and share your work as this artist. So again, it goes back to the story, the peacock story. It's almost like higher self. Okay, and this just fell out of the mix here. The harmony card, which is the third eye and the heart in resonance, and the dolphin totem. It's almost like higher self was doing that saving grace thing, because the ones that you have not positioned yourself in front of yet, those are the ones that where there's going to be some big shifts happening. And the invitation for you is to show up, higher self is saying, with nothing to hide. With nothing to hide. So what does that mean to you? Let's see if the cards offer some guidance for you with regard to this question. And I'm going to just look at this question once more, because I know there was like 2 parts in it. Should I continue to try to collaborate with other artists in the future? So we know the answer was yes. I've tried to collaborate with 4 other artists, and I've left my completed portions with them and nothing. Well, it's kind of like, I don't know how it is when you are an artist and leaving stuff. Do you leave copies? Are you leaving original versions? I don't know what that means, other than, I don't know the gravity of whatever that means. Is that like a big deal? You left portions with them? Is it just like leaving a resume and nothing? Is it the same thing? Because if it is, then that's how it works, right? It's like you plant the seeds, you throw them out there, and you see what sticks. You see what comes back. What did she say? Originals. So, okay, originals. If there is a sense of that, again, I don't know what the game is as an artist, but is that the standard? And is there like a cosmic clause whereby if it is later determined that they do not want to go into partnership or work with you, that they will return them? Is there some kind of that? And if not, maybe this is a good little point, right? A good little crossroads to begin to consider how you can navigate that moving forward. Maybe sending copies, maybe having a website page with just your art specifically, and that they can request an original if they really want to see your fine work. But there's something about that. And so it's interesting, because also what they're showing me is that there's a disconnect, because you're sending originals, but the frequent, okay, so this is interesting. Remember they were saying like that you're playing it safe, you're not giving it all away, but meanwhile excuse me, what's happening is the originals are being shared, yet it's not matching. There's something not matching. So even though the original blueprint is being shared of your art, whatever is matching it, the mind or the emotional energetic grids, the strata that is being delivered with it is not matching it energetically. I pray that resonates for you and it makes sense. So besides just the logistical, third dimensional clarification of terms when you're going to share original art pieces, that can be reviewed, it sounds like, perhaps. And also the sense of not hiding. Whoa. Okay, so there's a whole bunch here. What am I supposed to do? Higher self says take one. Okay, so we're going to mix these up. Higher self says take one of these. So let's see, higher self, what is the guidance now? And of course, 3 fall out. So we're getting closer. We are getting closer. Take this. There's 2. Okay. And what is left? No thingness. This is a time of major reevaluation. Oh, what else just flew out here? Major reevaluation and understanding. So isn't this just so in resonance with this energy today, being that full moon, right? The Leo full moon. And if you look closely, the bird is in a cage, or it's in the illusion of what it seems to be in the cage, sort of standing at the edge, waiting to take flight and join its friends. And the illusion of this card is that there's even such a thing as the bars, right? Is that there's even such a thing as the cage. And so there's this new level of understanding. And again, doesn't that just sync so beautifully with this full moon in Leo that is asking us to have the courage to move out of our limitations and to, with heart, really embrace our fullness. So how does that fit for you? How does that resonate for you? Let's see, they want me to pull one more. New vision. Okay, here we go. So new vision is us, is the part of us that takes what we have. And it's very much, I think you've been with me when I signed on here earlier. It's where we take what we have, what we've built, what we've created. And then we kind of, in a way, kind of like, pull it all apart and put it back together again. Kind of like what I have to do. I've written the first draft of the screenplay. And that by no means is going to be the final draft, and it's almost overwhelming to think about, oh my gosh, I got to go back into the lab and rip this whole thing apart and redo it and restructure it. But that, I feel, is what, again, this moon is asking of us to do. And this is a part of what I feel your higher self is guiding now, is to take a step back and look at where you can match more of your truth, more of your authentic, integral truth, your freak. The artists are weird in a good way, right? Artists have freedoms and liberties just naturally. When we say that we're an artist, it's like, oh, you're an artist. Well, you can do anything, right? But we ourselves then, our fears or our ego or those just unhidden subconscious things that we agree to, and those energies, those can hold us back and can keep us in that space of limitation, even when we're unconscious of it. So to go in to meditate and to ask, then the next level for you. And perhaps you already know. Okay, yeah, there's a healing around it. And I feel that this goes for all of us. There's a healing around it that will shift your consciousness. That healing is in the heart. It's of the emotions, and it's going to shift that consciousness. It's going to move the clouds from the third eye that have been obstructing the veils. And again, higher self wants me to end this offering with stop playing it safe. I pray that serves you. And thank you for participating and sharing you. Thank you, signed weirdo. Yes, you are an artist. Hey, Stephen. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. So, okay, Self-Centered Canada, funny listening to you and doing work. And then I was like, I think the visions are who I'm calling in and just not used to their energy. Oh, I think the visitors are who I'm calling in and just not used to their energy. Ooh, girl, okay. You want to tell us more about that? Blessings. Blessings. So if you have just joined, I am Tuesday, and every week I have a live stream called 4D Trinity where I share all about us aligning our minds and our hearts with spirit and entering that gateway, that portal of the heart center, which I teach is the fourth dimension of consciousness, that Christ consciousness realization. And it's understanding the metaphysics of our multidimensional beingness here through all time, space, and dimensions. And so we have various topics. I have, I think, close to 150 videos, I believe, on my 4D Trinity playlist at YouTube, which you can check out. And there's hundreds more on everything spiritual. There's a meditation playlist and such. But today, what I'm doing, and I do it about every 4, 6, 8 weeks or so, is a 4DT Ask Me Anything, where I will channel your higher self. So if you do have a question or an inquiry, please leave it in the comments. And today has been a funny day for me. I started an hour late, even though this show was supposed to start at 11 o'clock in California time. Time has been eluding me today. And so I started an hour later thinking that I was on time. And of course, we're always on time, right? So I can understand if we maybe don't have so many folks asking questions right now, because the time got a little askew there, but it is what it is. Liver consciousness. All right. Thank you for that. Kindred soul sister. There is a person that has entered my life. No doubt we have synchronized paths, but it's a lot. Can you pull a card for me? There's a person who has come into your life. You have synchronized paths. So I'm getting that this person is female, and if they are not female, they are very much in tune with their divine feminine energy. They're very intuitive, and they're here to help show you something now. They're here to help show you something. I said goodbye to this person, then ran into the white peacock. So yeah, higher self is like, they're here to show you something. So you let them go. Did you get what you needed? You let them go. You saw the white peacock. So higher self, what information can you share here regarding this situation with kindred soul sister and this person? Is there anything that is important to be illumined now about their exchange at this time that will serve kindred soul sister? You have any information through the cards? Well, first they're saying to go to the angel deck. Okay. So let's see what the angels have to say about this connection between you and this person, kindred soul sister. And they're saying to pick 3. Synthesis. I think it reads backwards on Instagram and forwards on YouTube. Let's see. So what other card? Flexibility. Synergy, flexibility. And what's the third card for kindred soul sister and this connection, please, angels? Thank you. Resilience. Yeah, I feel that this person really was here to show you something. And higher self is saying, this is goodbye, but it's not goodbye. Higher self is saying, this is goodbye for now, until what has been integrated from the exchange, until you've really digested it and processed it. Higher self is saying you have received it. They gave you something. There was something in this exchange. It feels very powerful, very spiritual, very metaphysical, some realization that you received. And now there is a process of that integration of that. And it seems like this person is representative of a specific frequency of a type of individual, of a being that embodies these frequencies, that comes into your life. This is not the first time, they're saying, that comes into your life to help point a way, to help you to be illumined along your path in a certain way, with a certain, they're saying mind frame, but they're pointing at the heart. So there is this certain, there's a teaching there, right? That's what I got from the very beginning, that there's a teaching there for you from them. And resilience, right? To strengthen your core that you already are, synthesis and flexibility. So as it is for so many of us, right? We are learning and continually, I feel like this person is like one of those spiritual people, those alien people. I'm using that term loosely, that get beamed in, that come in and they cross our paths, and boom, 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 boom. Like all this stuff happens, all these realizations happen, and then boom, they either disappear, they go away, we say goodbye. It's like these closed circuit cycles where a lot of information happens, a lot of information is exchanged, and then like drop the mic, it's done. And then you're left digesting, you're left processing all the information that was shared forth. And that's what I really get for you, kindred soul sister, that you're ready though, and you know what you need to do, or that there's an awareness that there has been a marker now at this certain completion of this phase. Okay, well, this is interesting. Let's get another card, because we got the dream card, and that usually speaks. Okay, no, I'm getting something here now. Because when you first said it, I got sister, but then I got, wait, no, it's a man, and then I got, no, it's a woman, and I got, no, it's a man, and then I got, oh, it's that divine feminine, it's that they're whatever gender this person is, or identifying as, that there's a predominant, a very intuitive feminine, divine feminine force activated within them. And so what I'm seeing now is, because you got the dream card, which speaks of really wanting something you can't have. It speaks of daydreaming about a beloved that is not yours. It speaks of the crush that you've never met. It speaks to, daydreaming about how it would be with someone. And sometimes this comes up when we're already in a marriage, in a union, or we're with someone. So what I'm getting, as all the cards drop, what I'm getting is that you did the right thing. You did the right thing, because what was happening, see, their presence, this whole situation, you got what you needed, the thunderbolt. This has awakened a lot within you, throughout every chakra center in your being, and especially in that heart center. And what has been exchanged, what they've shared with you, is going to help to create this next level, what I'm seeing and what I'm getting, of this integration of many different parts of your spiritual practices and your studies and your path over your lifetime. It feels like this is a very big, culminating turning point for you. You did the right thing, is what I'm getting, because what was happening is that this relationship, even though there has been some very powerful exchanges, and obviously it's divinely timed, but because of the situation that it was creating a burden. It was creating a burden, and it was creating stress, right? We have the stress card next to the burden card, which, you were either going to have to go with that peacock. No, that peacock is you, right? The white peacock is you. You were either going to have to go with that person, but you could never really merge with them, only to the level that you have had. And a love affair, I don't know. It feels like there could be some kind of a sense of a romanticism exchange there. And you were doing the right thing by saying, okay, I have to draw the line here now. Perhaps because you're involved with someone else, perhaps because on a higher level, it's not for you to take all that way and to the next level. But because you have done that, you've opened up this fire now, this absolute activation, where the Kundalini that has been activated from the exchange that you both have is now given the right of way to fire you up and to allow you to see things from that eagle perspective and have a sense of a greater aspect of the possibilities that are present for you, the possibilities that are present for you as you move on, which are greater than not because of your exchange with this person. But yeah, it feels like higher self is saying you did the right thing. He sparked the artist in me to come out, the long hidden closet artist that has been hiding. Yes, isn't that interesting? The artist is coming up for all of us today, that internal artist. So blessings. Yeah, I think girl. I think we got to the bottom of that. And I think you did the right thing. And you got what you needed. It sounds like you got what you needed from that exchange. And it is that artist, right? Awakening within all of us and letting this full moon in Leo today. Again, I keep saying this during this live, is to awaken the courage in our hearts to, just allow us to feel in our nature, to embody the fullness of our inner artist, to embody that fullness of those parts of ourselves that are seeking a voice, that are seeking to be seen, right? And the thing is that ego, the ego is so sly. On one hand, right, we can think, oh, well, it's ego to think that you want to be this great artist or to do all these crazy things. Yet if those crazy visions and things are coming from the truth in your heart and you're denying them, right, that's that tar body aspect. That's the shadow of the ego being given the upper hand. When we see, when we sense, when we feel that truth within us, but we're just afraid, unhealed aspects from our past, old grievances, subconscious, whatever those karmas, agreements, whatever it might be, where we're still in agreement to, but we're bumping up against them to move beyond them, right? Like that bird in the elusive cage behind the imaginary bars, that we get to step into that as if it's our second nature, as if it's our first nature, as if it is our nature, to be that freak, to be that artist, right? And again, going back to the very, very first, what I said earlier, Denai did this beautiful tarot reading for today, which I put on my stories at Instagram, where she talks all about the peacock and us just, really letting all of our colors be illumined and activated through us, and to letting ourselves shine in our perfect glory. And that is how that frequency, that resonance of us letting ourselves shine and be an embody that becomes the beacon. We become our own beacon for our people, right? To find us. We become our own beacon for the opportunities that are in resonance with us being that fully lit, turned on, activated. I don't give a F what anyone thinks, because this is true to me. And of course, we're not talking about doing things that are going to harm anyone or hurt anyone. This is you being true to you. And so the little things that we can do every day to activate that, to honor the artist within ourselves. Champion style blessings. You're very welcome. Is giving up weddings the things to do now? Oh, okay, let's get into that, girl. Oh, thank you for hopping on. Mystic Artifacts, I wander through. Okay, is giving up weddings the thing to do now? So if you do have a question, go ahead and leave it in the comments. We are in the Rose Quartz Crystalline Cave, and I am here today guided to serve in channeling your higher self and bringing and illuminating some messages and some insight into any questions you may have now. So, okay, Self-Centered Canada. I need to read it one more time. The question is so important to how, what goes into what comes out. Is giving up weddings the things to do now? Okay, right away, even without even thinking, which we don't think, right? When we channel higher self. I get a no. Don't give them up. No. And in fact, what I'm seeing is the hundreds of people that want to be married right now. The hundreds of people, the thousands of people. What I'm seeing are all the people that are seeking services like the ones that you offer right now. And what is called for is, last week's show I did on 4D Trinity, which is up. So if you scroll down, or it's here at the YouTube, where we talked a lot about the timelines and timeline shifts, and how we get to tell the matrix how to show up to us, right? We don't take our orders from the matrix. We inform the matrix of how to co-create, a simulation on our behalf. And what I'm getting is that in the heart of you is that there's no resistance. There's no real sense of like, oh, I need to stop doing this now for a period of time. I don't get that at all. Self-Center Canada. What I get is that you're really like, should I just keep doing this out of service? Like, what is the guidance now? And I'm getting yes, and that to use this period of time, right, where everything is so different and changing and everything's on Zoom. It's so funny. My mom was telling me, we were trying to meet up or something. She said, well, I have a Zoom. No, I have a Zoom at 3. Oh no, I have another Zoom at 5. I have another. And she had to like go through her weekly Zoom meetings and like cancel classes and meetings and stuff, because she was like, I'm too exhausted. She got so much going on the Zoom, but these are different times, quote unquote, matrix times that we're in now. And so for those light workers that are guided to continue and be of service, how can we adapt is what is being invited here. And so higher self is saying, like, how could you adapt your services, but also beyond that? And of course, this is in alignment with what is in resonance with you. And I have no agenda. Which I'm going to cosmic clause and preface what I'm going to say. But again, last week's 4D Trinity, I shared a little story about how I called up the local spa at the hot springs, and they just happened to be open. And there I was for $15 on a close to 90-degree day, laying in a bikini, sitting by a natural spring set of pools, hot pools, decorated with people from all over the world that had this same agreement that it was a safe place to be. There was no protocol, as we are informed by the news and the media. There was none of that. We were not in the matrix. I was in heaven on earth, full on. And so, to the degree that where you feel that it's necessary or unnecessary to do this whole thing and abide by certain codes, as it were, look at what's here, the master. Using your intuition, using this full moon, letting her illuminate creative aspects about how you can go about offering your services to meet the needs or requirements of those seeking you now. Because I do get that they're there, and there are people that want to be married. And if it's your business to marry people, then there's like, okay, adaption. I get that. I get like adapting for you, and that you can totally do it. You are a master at what you do. And now this is like a next level of like, okay, using your master skills, using your abilities that you already have to then like, Rubik's Cube it and create a new landscape. What would it look like? Oh, did you write more? Let's see. Is giving up. Oh no, that's still you. Okay. Yes. So we're still in it. She's laughing. Girl, she says, girl. Okay, with like 15 U's and 20 R's. Yeah, so reconstructing. Like, so for instance, I've been a Reiki teacher, facilitator since 2000 for 20 years, right? There's like a lot of students over the whole world that I've had the honor of sharing with. There's this like just loads of students and loads of people in my community that I share this energy, that I share this grid with, and that I've had the honor of sharing the teachings with, right? That I'm actually the teacher of, the minister of, the way you are the minister of your, what you serve with Self-Center Canada. And what higher self was guiding me in the next love letter that I'm going to include it is like, oh, because of this whole Zoom age that we're in, it's like, oh, recreating not the wheel, but just like how we're going to decorate the wheel, right? So what I'm inspired to do is to just proclaim and put it out there that like for like a 3-month period, every like the last Thursday of every month or something like that, nothing is set just yet, but that I'm going to do an online Zoom Reiki circle, with everyone, so that those people in the community, because they continue to reach out to me And it's like, well, let's create a sacred container for this then. Let's have a talking circle. Let's do some distance Reiki. Let's do some self Reiki. Let's talk. Let's refresh our memories about the symbols and their meanings and how we can apply this in our life and use it to heal ourselves and to move through these phases. And so I'm like, okay, universe. And I've been sat with it. And then today they were like, you're going to do that, right? In my meditation this morning, I'm like, okay, then we're on. And it's just to be of service, And so it's a different way of adapting things that we already do. Hitting me hard here, she says. Yeah, right? So we get to be creative then and let that full moon energy come in. Ooh, angel cards. Let that full moon energy come in. To illumine. And again, so of course this is me, right? But I know it's the higher self having fun with all of us today with this energy, because how we started. And thank you for hopping on from the very beginning. But it's that full moon, it's that freak flag. It's that artist. How would Sam or Self-Centered Canada, through the filter of the artist, that funky minister goddess, like how would she just tweak it a little bit or a lot? How would she put her thing in it that would make it specifically you? And like where people are like, oh, you want to get married by da-da-da? Oh, you got to go see her. She's spiritual. She's got this going on. She's got that. She will, serve you with or without the thing or whatever the thing is. You know what I mean? Or she can Zoom you. The words I needed. Lots going on, so it's hard to gauge. Plus, I have PMS with this moon. LOL. Girl, I hear you. So they're guiding some angel cards just to finish off. Let's see what we got for Self-Centered Canada. What is that guidance with regarding her being of service, marrying beautiful people, serving as a minister, to wed beloveds to one another, openness, staying open, right? And isn't that full moon? It's just like receptive. I think I had already shuffled the cards. Yeah, it's not here anymore. But in the card, it's the Osho Zen Tarot that I use most of the time. And the full moon is right over his head in the card. And that's your halo. That's your intuition. That's the lunacy as well, the cray-cray of our inner artists, right? That gets to be illumined, so we can call on that and say like, okay, help to light up those parts that I'm not seeing right now, so that I can bring them into the vision. Adventure. Yeah, you see, adventure. It wants to be fun with you. It's like, I don't know, are you going to like take them hiking on some place with extra blankets because it's probably snowing up there? Or I don't know. Let's see what else. Okay, one more card for Self-Centered Canada. Honesty, right? And I think that's what this is what this full moon is illumining too. It's like, that's why it's telling me, it's like, it's almost like I can't even go back into the office and start working on the screenplay until I've agreed with myself that I'm going to let more of my freak flag fly. And because my freak flag has everything to do with how I'm going to see through the lenses that this body, vehicle, identity, personality, ego person is, that I'm going to see through that screenplay, and it's going to look different. I'm going to see things I didn't see before, because I'm saying, come on, freak, in a good way. You know what I mean? Because I'm saying, come on, all those parts of the artist that I know that I am, that I'm still too afraid to be. Where we're afraid we're going to get judged, or we're just stuck, but it's all illusion, because all we have to do is change our mind about it, rev up that third chakra, and start showing up more. And even if it's little by little. And how could that be? How would that look for you? The words I need. Oh yeah. So that's you, the full moon, mystic artifacts. Oh, thanks for giving the love. Okay. So you're here. Okay. So full reveal to you. I forgot you were here. And here I am spilling the beans about the screenplay, but it's so true. I'm an artist. And like, the part of me, I don't know. Do you all feel that same way, where it's like, it doesn't even, of course it matters, like, to get to the end result. And there's that discipline, yet there's something about, for me, with this dance, with the grid, it's like, if it takes my whole life, that's, it does. Like, I know we get to be consistent and show up and have our goals and whatnot. Yet there's this other part of me that's like, it's such a beautiful dance. And it really gives me so much, because it's been, on one hand, right, when you take on a project that is massive, And really the project is self. It's like it comes in the guise of being the thing, the screenplay, the script, or the piece of art, or the book that you're writing, or the new community you're setting up, or whatever it might be, the website. But really it's all about you, you know, and it's like the crumbling apart of the self that we think we are, so that peacock with all the colors shining, right, can be illumined and just be in its fullness and its glory. And then it's like, oh, the book, the screenplay, the this, the that, you know, like everything just is given the right of way then to be illumined under grace. And it's a process that I love, and that is very arduous for me at the same time. And I know that's just me. But that's, I don't know, Cancer rising, you know, this is just, there's a lot of tears. There's a lot of despair and anguish at times, you know, and so much illumination. And look what comes, but it's just conditioning. This is for all of us. It's just, you know, why is it arduous? I mean, come on, is this going to be a session for me? I could start talking out my blues out here. But, you know, again, it's because of the fear. My biggest fear. I mean, really, we could talk but I know what they are. And this full moon, let it be for you as it resonates too. Let it bring up the stuff that's been like, hello, you know, I know there's stuff for me since I began this Grid Mind Science on Instagram, and I did the presentation in February last year. It's been like these layers of tar, of fear that I've just been burning through. And you know, when you really start to show up, it's simple, but it's not always easy. And you will be challenged. You'll be challenged by your own fear, but that fear is the teacher. The ego is the teacher. And it's really just saying this way, you know, transmute the fear aspect of the ego and make it the way, you know, where the ego can be that tar body shadow that keeps us bound, or it can be that illuminating, igniting force that helps to, you know, propel us into more of our greatness, into more of the truth that we are. Must call Q wedding client totally into live with you. There you go. That's a whole part of the right. And I think what you're saying is the queer grid, you know? Yes, absolutely. Right. Everybody who wants to get married is seeking to get married, no matter, you know, straight, gay, whatever, trans, or whatever it is. You know, and if the laws are such where you live that is a legal thing, then that is definitely a paradigm. That is definitely an aspect, right, that you can work with and focus on, and make sure that part of your clientele is seen and heard and given the correct conditions to want to choose you to wed them. They would be crazy not to. So there was one last question. And because really I get to go on Thursdays, I take care of grandma. So, and Andre from 4D Fighting Arts had actually sent a question in much earlier, because he said he couldn't make the live. So I want to share now. So he says Mount Shasta and the Infinity Gate portal. So he has texted me and he's telling me that there's something massive. Here you are, brother. I was just reading. I was just reading your question from earlier. So yes, you were telling me, you had texted me that you were like texting me like something big is going to be going down during the Lions Gate portal at Mount Shasta. So your question today, which we're on, which I believe is going to be the last one today. Mount Shasta and the Infinity Gate portal. What can we expect to happen when it's open? So, you know, it's very interesting. You're right on time, right? Yes. It's interesting because this morning, right, you came up in my meditation, that you had asked this question this morning, and somehow it drifted through my mind in my meditation, and higher self said, pull out the Mayan Oracle deck for that. Yes, we're going to see what higher self engages and perhaps the other cards. But I've been using this Mayan Oracle deck really since I got the Osho Zen back in '96. But these guys, I know them inside out. I channel with them. I use them actively with clients for the 20 years now. These ones I still read from the book, but they had me also take out the major arcana ones and just keep in the lenses and the numbers, which may not make sense, but that's what higher self guided as a part of offering for you today, Andre. So, but first, let's just see what messages come now about this whole Mount Shasta grid and all of this. And now the crystal is missing. No, it's not. It's here the whole time. Okay, let's see. So what divine messages do we have regarding this? And I might have to go back in and read that question again. But let's see what higher self says. Okay, so first of all, I get celebration, a coming together of soul family. I get that you are the instigator. I get that you are a linchpin. I get that you are being called. I get that you're being called. I mean, you're being called. You're being called for so much, right, Andre? Every time I see you, there's a new leaf, a new grid that you are being called to and holding space for us all. But there's some powerful. You're being pushed. You're being guided to help to create a safe space. They want to use that word container again, to create a safe container whereby soul family can be reunited. So that's the first thing, because what higher self is saying is the most important thing of any event that we make significant, whether it's a full moon, the Lionsgate portal, these things, Mercury retrograde, just whatever these alignments are, right? They're just templates, right? Nothing really exists. But everything exists to the degree that we decide it will exist. So with that, though, there is a significance, and the infinity symbol is extra significant. Why is higher self? Why is the infinity symbol extra significant for that meeting at Mount Shasta? Well, there's some okay. So on a real basic level, light worker level, remember going back into the heart, that the heart, because it is a Lionsgate, is a collective of that soul family, remembering itself together, remembering its connection, remembering its soul purpose, remembering that it is infinite, remembering its power together, and how each part of the puzzle then will take that remembrance out into their communities, their families, their places of being individually, creating an even larger activation of the soul net, that soul net of the heart awakening within all of us. And you are called to hold space for this to happen. And you will do it. Higher self is like, and you will do it. And there will be a celebration. So whatever things appear to be, whatever way that things appear to be in the matrix currently, there is this sense of a shift. Things will not be as they are now. What they're saying is that they will be better. They will be better. I'm getting, it will be with ease. It will be with ease that this will be organized. That's nice, isn't it? They're saying because it's meant to happen. And you are meant to be a part of this. And you're supposed to invite everyone you know. That's what they're saying. Letting go. Let's get some clarity on this. Letting go. Intuitively, what I feel right away with that letting go card is that it will create a marker, a marker of a significant forgetting, a significant collective forgetting, which will allow the remembering. Silence. Full moon. So again, tonight, full moon energy, So they want you to meditate, and I know you meditate all the time, but they want you to use this full moon energy today, this Leo full moon. Indeed, the puzzle pieces are falling into place. Yeah, True Blue, World Corvez. Oh, Heart Grid, thank you for hopping on, everyone. Yes. Yeah, the collective forgetting. I'm getting there's going to be like a really powerful collective healing that's going to take place. And through that, I'm seeing like people hugging and crying, and like I see rain, even though it's going to be in August, right? I see like mud and rain, and it sounds weird, but I see like mascara running. But I think it's just what they're showing me are just the significance of these snapshots of like people having awakenings. So what they're guiding now, what I'm seeing right now is to use this full moon as a marker to begin being shown. So there's this aspect of, yes, voyeuring and putting into place through way of your own intention and your own calling, but also there's stuff that they want to show you. So in your meditations tonight, today, with this moon energy, call her in to illuminate what you need to see now, because what I'm seeing, what they're showing me for you is to begin walking the land. They're showing me you beaming yourself into that time and space and walking the land. And you may be guided to walk the land with your staff, with your cane, with your wizard wand, with your crystals, with your cape on, there's something though, but there's this, now it's ready to be invigorated and to be activated. And you may even be guided to stand in your living room, in your vision, as you get the vision of what the land is going to look like. And remember, be mindful, because higher self wants you to be very clear, and this goes for all of us receiving vision, to let the vision come in, not to color it with what we think we want to be there. Like, I really want a teepee on the land. I really want a teepee on the land. Say, so we keep putting the teepee in there, but it's okay. If there's a teepee is meant to be there, the teepee will be there. Let it show you first. And then as you are naturally guided to put the teepee on the land, like you will know. And just from your acknowledgement of it, the people with the teepee and the it'll happen. But so just because when we're going to put in our stuff, then it can limit it. Even if it seems like something very beautiful and empowering and healing, it can still limit the potential of what things may be. So let yourself be shown in the light of this full moon. Walk the land. In this meditation, as you're shown, you can take your shoes off. You can even be outside, because I know you're outside in beautiful land where you are. You may want to, merge timelines, merge with the now, right? Get into the now, because then that way you can properly merge into the timeline of the future. Be shown the land. You may want to, however higher self will guide you in that time, but I am seeing like sage and maybe ding, little bells, or there's something about you walking the land. And what higher self is reminding me right now, when they set up Woodstock, I can't remember which cats it were, but there was like 3 or 4 cats in a golf cart and on foot that went and walked and drove around the whole parameter. I don't know, however many, was it 800, 400 acres, Woodstock? I can't remember. I wasn't there, but I used to watch. I was a hippie when I lived in Ireland for many years, and I watched that VHS until it got wobbly and the VHS thing ate it. Oh, those days. But the investors / people who set up Woodstock walked the land with the set of those little ding chime bells, burning sage, and chanting the Om. Like they did that at least once, if not a couple times. Like there was a sacred, they created the container. They created the container months and months and months and months before the festival ever happened. Once they knew which land, which Yasgar's farm, where it was going to be, they got the download to do that. So that's what I'm getting for you. Higher self is encouraging that integration. Yeah. So that this is going to create the correct conditions, the scaffolding, right? Consciously create that container, almost like a sweat lodge. If you've ever been to a sweat lodge, right? You always build the sweat lodge. Well, not always, but often you will build it with the shaman, the guides, and you'll put it together from the beginning. And it's these pieces of bamboo, and you tie it. And what happens is it creates the little dome, the little skeleton, right? The container. And later everyone brings a blanket, and everyone's blanket, right, is a patch of the peace quilt then that goes into covering the container. Then, we gather the rocks, you fire up the rocks, you go and you do your sweat lodge. But the initial container, the bones, that's what I'm getting. The bones will be set up that you can help to create the container now. So they did want these Mayan oracle cards for us to pull one. Haha, little bells just got added to my staff. You see, you already know. Higher self is so cool like that. Higher self is like, we got this. We are so ahead of you. So let's see, for the highest good. So I've never been called yet until this day to pull a Mayan oracle card. And again, I will be reading. So in light of this, and just so we have absolute clarity, I'm going to read your query again, because I believe this will be our last question for today. Mount Shasta and the Infinity Gate portal. What can we expect to happen when it's open? Dun, 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 dun. I just want to preface this as well, that the Mayan Oracle wanted to come out is a pretty big deal, because this is cosmic. This is galactic. When these cards want to come out, this is calling us into a much greater, much more expanded availability to vision. So let's see what they are called to guide for you now. Organic balance. And maybe later, I have to work later, but later, I can make a snapshot and text it to you. So the number here is 6, organic balance. Organic balance emerges from who you are in all dimensions. The stars too have roots. Receptivity, ability to respond, dynamic equilibrium, roots in many dimensions. Fluidity, roots in many dimensions. 6 is the ray of organic balance, the dynamic equilibrium of the foundation of self combined with the one point of unity. Organic balance is an active process, not a static or fixed state. Drawing this card indicates that wherever you have become static or fixed, be willing to look at balance with the larger picture in mind. Balance is rooted in the totality of who you are. Let your receptive roots run deep, grounding your ability to respond in this world. Bring your essence self into your present expression. Aliveness is derived from essence. Now there's another little paragraph I'm going to read, but let me just, oh my God. Isn't this so, it's so very interesting. So whether this is the Mercury retrograde acting up, whatever my grids are with Instagram, it's very interesting. Oh, sorry to leave you hanging there on YouTube. Instagram stopped running again for me. So I had to post it. It allowed me to post now this recent bit. And now here I've had to come back on here so I can finish this reading for Andre. So, so yes, organic balance. And it's very interesting. Hopefully he will, well, hopefully we'll see, right? I'll pray for the highest good that he'll hop back on here on this live. The idea with this Mount Shasta and what's going to open up. Mount Shasta is considered to be the root chakra of the chakra system of the planet. I'm so glad you hopped back on, brother. I've DM'd you about my whatever issues with Insta. And part one of this is the third time going live here this morning with this, because the first part of it, well, anyway, I started late today, but also the first part got taken down and ended because it said of nudity or sexual inappropriateness, which is bizarre. And they wouldn't let me post it. And then so we did it again. So I think that one's just posting where you hopped on here recently. And now here's the third one. So third time's a charm. And we will wrap up after this. But what I wanted to say to you, where I was going before it got ended there, was that Mount Shasta, right, is considered to be the root chakra of the chakra system of this planet. And interesting that there was a lot of sharing regarding this idea of grounding, and that this is so important for the awakening, right? For the blast off, for the full awakening of our galactic, of our cosmic family as we abide here on this planet. And so the sense of grounding that will come from the gathering, that's what I'm getting. And that's what this is telling us. And that is the root chakra, and the powerful healing that will take place for the collective that is guided to be present there will be made so profound through it taking place at Mount Shasta, out that significant geographical place of the first chakra, will bring a healing. What I'm seeing the healing happening there will then inspire and create a healing that's going to travel throughout all of the collective grids connected there, and will help to clear out the collective fear that is held, which will create the correct conditions for the collective kundalini, the kundalini of the planet, to be freed up, to fire up, to engage itself on those higher levels. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm seeing. So this grounding, and I love how there's a continual showing and speaking to this in many roots, in many dimensions, right? And so thank you for hopping on, guys. I was just saying this is the third time. We'll be wrapping up here shortly, but there's been some retrograde shenanigans here. So thank you for saying hi and hopping on. And I'm answering Andre's question about Mount Shasta for this coming summer, for a gathering there. And it's interesting how also this card speaks to that roots, right? And the root system, and the roots, having your roots established in many dimensions, because when the root chakra is blocked, it's hard for us to feel that connection to grounding. It's hard for us to feel the connection to the earth, to those parts of history or of the story that we would be guided to be a part of. And so that clearing and that cleansing of the root system at that level of the root, geographically in that location, and the healing that will come from that multidimensionally, I think right, my Pisces brother, I think you see and sense and feel what I'm being shown, what I'm feeling and sensing and seeing with this, because there's so much, and when we go even deeper, the root chakra, as I teach it, as I'm guided to teach it, is where we go. When I take our groups and we do our Akashic records work, we go first into the heart, we gather the light at the pineal, bring that light of the pineal into the heart, and we take those two lights of our light side into the root chakra. And it's there that we go down into the Akashic records. And the Akashic records, so the way I teach is that they're held, right, in the etheric blueprint of our aura. But that also that root chakra is the main storage system for all of those belief systems and all of those messages and all of the fear, right? The stuff that really gets us stuck, that doesn't allow that first level of receiving life force and being in a beautiful, healthy, healing way activated from just that continual wellspring and that cycle of being nourished by earth energy coming in through the root of our spine, nourishing all the chakra system and all of our energetic body multidimensionally, and going back out again. And where there's a block, which it's all fear, right? In the root chakra, where there's a block there, then individually and collectively, that kundi, that energy, that life force will be inhibited, and how fantastically it can activate. And when it's cleared, when it's freed, we know when we dislodge a big chunk of fear, a big chunk of shadow, we can get wobbly, right? Because we're detoxing. We're like going through the toxic spell of dislodging that from our being, so we can get a little off center, a little whacked out, a little wonky as we sort of realign, right? Without that toxic energy, without that tar walking with us, we're like, boom, bumping up, raising our frequency, walking into a new timeline, in emerging and embodying that, as it were. And so that feels really powerful. And that there can be a group of people together to hold space for one another in doing this is really profound. I've definitely been becoming aware of my multidimensional self to learn, grow, and experience more. Yeah. Oh, thanks for hopping on, guys. Everyone who's just hopped on, I'm very grateful. And just so you know, I'm finishing answering a question here from 4D Fighting Arts. Every 4 to 6 to 8 weeks or so on my live stream 4D Trinity, I do this show, which is called Ask Me Anything, where I channel insight and guidance from your higher self. And sometimes I'm called to use the cards to do that. So let's finish reading this for you here, Andre. And again, like I said, I'll take a picture and I'll text it to you soon. You are the unity that creates organic balance. You are free to choose, respond, give, and receive. 6 asks you to respond to life with love, to bring heaven to earth through your embodiment of the 6-pointed star. Okay, this is interesting. Embody, because that's the Merkaba, your light body vehicle. Embody the divine light in your human form. As you are infused with the vibration of heaven, heaven is brought to earth. As you journey homeward, earth is brought to heaven. Thus is created organic balance, heaven and earth in symbiotic union. So this is so powerful. What are you going to do at the Mount Shasta 4D Fighting Arts? What are we going to do? We're going to be holding space in a very large, conscious, coherent, collective way that says yes to heaven on earth. From the root system of our collective, cosmic, and galactic agreement and acknowledgement that is our truth. From the root system that is in the Akashik, but that even goes beyond the Akashik, before the stories, before we started telling stories and making things up and believing stories, right? The now, that is always the love. This will create a great marker for the collective to be in the remembrance of the truth of love and bridge heaven on earth individually and collectively. 6-pointed star. It's very interesting. I don't know if you do the Merkaba meditation. I have a presentation on it. I've said for years that I will eventually create a little course on it. But I do. Anyway, yeah, that's something I can point you in a direction for as you're guided. So the Merkaba is the chariot of self. It is our light body. And as I teach it, as it's been shown, and as many teachers share, this is how we ascend to different dimensions. So it would make sense that there's a collective aspect. Maybe there's going to be a group. I can lead a group guided Merkaba meditation or something. Something will be happening there as well, because it is the container of it is our light body, and it is the container of our light body. It is how we travel through different dimensions on the lines of vertical and horizontal travel. This is how it shows itself to me. It is when we calibrate then the torus field in its full activation that we can zip and zob and bim and bob everywhere, all around the place like this. Merkaba is a little bit more like an elevator that goes up and down and horizontal, left and right. It's, faster than light, so to speak, or 9/10 the speed of light. Yet at the same time, it's, there is even more freedom of motion in the torus, but the Merkaba is often where we are guided to begin. And it is really, when we learn to run the Merkaba, we are learning to just embody our highest frequency of light and love. It's really about love that we can hold at any given time and space. And it's learning to hold that frequency moment to moment to moment to moment to moment, but to set up the sacred geometry of our geometric energy body in such a way as to calibrate the Merkaba, get it spinning. There's a tetrahedron that points down, earth. There's a tetrahedron that points up, sky. And there is the body, our physical self, that is the third tetrahedron. And we learn a specific meditation with mudra and breath. And there's a million meditations out there, so be mindful. I highly suggest the Flower of Life, the original as taught by Flower of Life organization, or Drunvalo Melchizedek. Now they both teach the same one. It's the original. They have not added anything. It is the primo OG. If you ask me, that's what I would guide, and that is the one that I teach. But we do a series of breaths and a mudra, finger mudras, to activate the spinning of the tetrahedrons in a counter rotation cycle. And it is the counter rotation cycle of the spinning of these tetrahedrons that creates this resonance and this frequency of our energy body, which does not allow that which is not in sync with that high frequency of love and of light to enter our field. But it's also initiation to us for us to maintain that field of love and light through thoughts, words, actions, and deeds, to keep that Merkaba spinning. Okay, so that's just a little offering in that way and direction. Okay. All right, family. So I believe that's it for today. I'm so very grateful for all of us. Did we finish? Yes, we did. Heaven on earth. That's right, Andre. Okay. So thank you, everyone. I'm so grateful. And I pray next week's show, we will have no hiccups. Everything will go great. I'm so grateful for this beautiful community. You can go to my link tree, a little link there at Instagram, and sign up for my monthly love letter. I'll be sending that out later this week. And also so you can be informed of any guided meditations and events I might share and hold. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube and following on Instagram. Again, they are not letting me post to my page on Instagram. I'm having some issues with that, but I am always up in my stories. So I pray all of this serves you well. Yeah, sign up at my website if you are interested, tuesdaymaythomas.com, and be a part of the community. Blessings and take care, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. And if I could find the end button. Okay, there it is. Blessings.